see. Janet, get closer.
I just have to get closer, pero y me veo ahorita igual que tú. I do
Yes.
look beautiful. I am a
You
beautiful
do look
woman.
beautiful and we are live.
You see how we praise ourselves? That's extremely important to always see the beauty in it in ourselves.
Definitely, you are beautiful.
That's what I do in the mirror. I am so beautiful. I'm so beautiful. Join me with that. We
that-
are so
we are so
beautiful.
beautiful.
So this is Maya Dari del Sol
And
and Jana
Jana
Gracia,
Gracia.
the beautiful ladies.
Yes, we are reprogramming ourselves.
That's right.
Yes, because
That's right.
that's actually what we are doing, working on reprogramming our past. Because we were taught that we weren't maybe beautiful, that we weren't good enough, that we weren't this and that and that and that. And today we are returning to our origin, to our essence, to our power. And this is part of it, saying, I am beautiful.
Because that is the pure truth.
Yes, so if you are out there, because I see some people already joining us on Instagram and on YouTube, just say that I am beautiful.
I agree. Absolutely.
Yes, I see your beauty. Even though I'm not seeing you with my eyes, I can see your beauty.
We are seeing you with our hearts.
Yes, we can see you from our hearts.
Yes, absolutely. So come and join us. And I grab my water.
Yes, me too. I have
Grab
my
your tea or your coffee, whatever makes you comfortable, and come and join us in a nice, juicy topic on the book. Remember, buy
Yes,
the
the
book.
book.
Buy the book. And so many other programs that she does have that we'll talk a little more at the end.
Yes, definitely. So if you don't know what we're doing, we are following the information of this book that I wrote. It's called Alchemy for the Soul. And we will be working tonight on, we inherited, just for you to know, we inherited the memories of our ancestors. And you might ask, but how is that? Because many times we think that we are set apart from our family, even though we come from a family system. We might say, that's my mom, that's my dad, those are my siblings. They are independent from my own story, and maybe not. So we need to understand a little bit of how we inherit those memories of our ancestors. So Alchemy for the Soul is got the answer for that. And also some exercises, some systemic exercises that can help you transcend some of those conditioning, emotional patterns and repetitive patterns, and all of that that has to do with ancestral work.
It's an eye opener.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the best way I can say it. Because when you finish reading the book, you're like, oh, wow, you have understanding.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, you are full of awareness because you're seeing it now. It just opens up your eyes, it opens up your heart, it opens up your soul to
Mhm.
see your truth.
Yes.
And then we begin the work.
Yes, and that's our intention also by doing these lives. We are our intention is that you can understand a little bit of this systemic perspective, because once you get to understand, and then you get to start working on your part.
Mhm.
Yes, yes,
It's always fun, fun, fun.
yes. So, how has the eclipse been treating you, Janet?
You know, it's so interesting because I want to learn about astrology and the eclipse, but Maya usually fills me in. But yeah, it's been very weird. I have found myself uncomfortable. I have found myself with indecision,
Yes.
a little depressed, even, and just like not sure what to do, but not understanding why. And now this is the beauty.
That's the beauty of it, and to embrace the moment.
Embrace the moment, yeah.
Because it's always an opportunity to create a change, internal changes that can manifest or materialize in a different way in our lives.
So it has hit me pretty hard. You know
oh,
what I mean?
Me too. I'm
It has hit
telling
me
you.
pretty hard.
I would say that I've been like for 5 or 6 days at home, a little bit kind of like enclosed
Mhm.
in my own process, because the eclipse was in Scorpio, And if we talk about astrology, Scorpio is into going into the deepness of the unconsciousness, and it's bringing up this moment is let's say bringing up all of that unconsciousness so you can work on it to be able to liberate it. And so yeah, it gets to be uncomfortable, being also in that undecision moment in my life where I feel like, oh, what should I do, should I not? And those are fears, all fears that we or are ours, or they come from our family system and we are following them, carrying them, and doing it the same. And it's the best opportunity definitely to create a change. So
And like it's like a spiral. You know what I mean? It's like you go and you get, and then also you come back. It's like I came here. I'm like, I don't understand why I'm feeling what I'm feel, and I come and Maya explains, and I'm like, oh, that's what this book does. You don't understand why you're doing things. Then you come and you read the book. You listen to us talking, and all of a sudden you have a lot of awareness, and that's the gift. The fact that you're here with us, you're ready to hear, you're open, you're ready to listen, you're ready for change,
yes,
and that's
definitely.
and that's wonderful.
Yes, yes, yes. So be thankful
Yes.
to yourself.
And to the eclipse
And
that's
to,
driving us crazy so that we continue
yes,
doing what we need to do to
exactly.
evolve.
And not only that, not only just to eclipse, everything that happens in your
Yeah.
life is working, is serving you, is in your favor, is working in your favor, is being aligned in your favor, even though it doesn't seem like it, because you could say, but how come this is happening to me, is creating this chaos in my life, and how can you be saying that is a blessing? Well, it is because you might not see it, but if you trust that it is possible, that the universe is working on your favor, it is already working for you. So that's
It
part of
is.
what we wanted to share to begin this sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And there's like two things that people have told me, things happen for you. And I'm like, okay. But I believe someone told me things happen from you. So when you're seeing yourself in these tough time and even good time and tough time, you are creating it because there's blessing that needs to happen, even though we don't get it sometimes. And even
So
though sometimes they're very tough.
so we love ourselves a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, we should do.
No, we
That's
do
the
this.
thing. We
Yeah.
do love ourselves even in the chaos.
Yes.
Actually, that's when we love ourselves more.
Because we create the chaos
Yeah.
to get out of it, and so we finally can uh, release that chaos that we tend to attract.
Yeah, because everything comes from us.
Yeah, so that's love.
That's love.
That's how much you love yourself.
And
Beautiful. And thank you for the
congratulations.
hearts.
A
We love it.
bravo.
Hi, Jose. We see also Faisalan Sari and Andy. Thank you so much for being here. Very energy. Thank you so much. We are so glad that you are here joining us and being part of this life where we are intention, or our intention is to grow together, to share these perspectives about life and see how they can serve you
And it's nice to know that you're not going through this alone. You know what I mean?
also.
That, there's people out there going through exactly the same thing that you're going through,
Yes.
even though we might be experiencing it a little different. And the way I say, what a blessing that we have programs like what Maya and I do, and all
Mhm.
the other programs that she has done and we have. So look
Yes.
how much you guys love yourself. I keep saying
Yes.
that.
And all the steps that you have taken,
Yeah.
because just imagine that you are still lost in what you think it is, or what life is. And maybe where you are is a close state of consciousness, let's say. So that would be painful.
Mhm.
That would be really painful. But the more awakened you are, the more you expand your consciousness, the easier it is to take things in life and to
Mhm.
work with them and to embrace them and to say, okay, it's part of it, and I'm glad it's happening because I'm changing my reality by living this new experience and by liberating it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a lot of surrender.
Yes.
Totally a lot of surrender. I mean,
Definitely.
we as, Maya as a teacher, me as a student, we're being totally authentic. This week has been crazy for us.
And you are already a facilitator, Janet.
Yeah, that's true. But I still
Yes.
call her my teacher because I learned so much from her, you
Ah.
know? So, and I'm so
Thank you,
grateful.
Janet. Thank you. Yes. So let's go to our topic.
Let's go.
Yes. So our topic is we inherited the memories of our ancestors. Mhm. Yes. And you might say, but how that happened? Because we need to understand, the mind needs to understand how is it possible that I inherited things like memories.
You're
Memories.
like, what?
You're like, what? No, no way. And because you would say, no, I inherited from my parents, the color of my hair, of my eyes, of my skin, and
Personality.
some traits of personality. But how come I inherited maybe emotions? What about unresolved emotions?
Unresolved fears.
And not only that, unresolved unconscious memories.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ones you can see, you would say, oh, yeah, grandma used to get very mad at my mom because of this. Oh, you kind of see it, right? So maybe that's why they have this disconnection and this and that. But what about those memories that people put a mask on?
Mm.
Like our ancestors would put a mask on, pretending to appear, and then this way, and then behind the scenes, all of these entangled emotions and beliefs and feelings that maybe weren't what they were showing, and maybe you might be carrying those and you don't remember that.
Exactly.
What about memories from the womb?
Yes. Feelings that your parents and their parents and their felt and brought it through the womb.
Yes, all of those memories are pulsating, kind of dormant, but pulsating enough. And so let's talk a little bit about how we inherited that. Yes? So when you, as an individual, go through a difficult moment, let's say a trauma, we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about a traumatic moment
Mm-hmm.
that created lots of fear or pain or suffering. Uh, Things like this can happen. Let's say that psychologically, when you go through an experience, let's say abuse, which is a traumatic experience for a child, let's say child
Yes.
abuse.
Mm-hmm.
When you go through an experience like this, probably you create this thing called a mental split. Yes, it's like
Oh,
a mental
yes.
split.
Mm-hmm.
That means that part of you goes somewhere else within your own psychology to protect yourself from that moment. So the way you protect yourself from that moment is by forgetting. So when someone asks you, you might say, no, 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 I've never been abused. But maybe you went through a memory of abuse that you don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
It is there and it hasn't been healed. Now, let's say that you couldn't confront this memory throughout your entire life. Let's say that you grew up as an adult and you married, maybe you had problems with sexuality, probably
Mm-hmm.
with your partner, because there is a memory there that you haven't been able to understand well why it's hard for you to connect sexually with a partner.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyways, you have children, let's say, and maybe the next generation don't feel it, but maybe 2 generations later, someone is having the same issue of being sexually abused,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe having issues with sexuality, with an orgasm, with it goes to many possibilities
And
depending on that specific memory that happened that wasn't healed. And so when we don't get to heal these memories in this lifetime because we don't remember them, because we kind of close the possibility to see it because we don't want to, it's painful. We don't want to be confronted with that. Well, what it happens is that we inherit those memories to our descendants.
We pass them down.
Yes. And you will say, but how come? Well, it has been proven scientifically that it's not only the inheritance, it's not only about genes, it's also about the epigenetics. The epigenetics carry that information, all the information of adaptation from the environment that our ancestors went through. Let's say, and I like explaining this one because I love this one. I was reading this book about morphic fields.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and morphic, you say, what is morphic fields? Right? And there was this guy called Rupert Drake, I believe, or
Yes.
Sheldrake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he was a biologist. And I like this case a lot because it makes a lot of sense. He used to study all the species in nature. And in one of those chapters that I was reading, there was one that caught my attention. Was this one about the water fleas, right? The water fleas. Are those called water fleas? Yeah, this little.
I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Fleas in the water.
Yeah,
Okay.
fleas in the water that they used to be like other species would be like predators of them.
Other water fleas. Okay.
Yes, of the water fleas. So he took an amount of those and took them to a lab and put them in a lab, right? And had more generations of babies, like 2 generations of babies. But what happened was that these water fleas created these sort of spikes to protect from predators.
Look at that. Look at that.
In nature, like in the atmosphere and in the water, right? Well, 2 generations later, these descendants still are developing in their bodies the same spikes, even though they are not being attacked.
Isn't that something? Oh my God.
Because it's a way to protect. It's like you never know. You never know if someone is coming to attack us. So we better create it or be born with the same spikes. So we adapt. Our body adapted, and we emotionally adapted, psychologically adapted to what happened. That has been ways of adapting to survive or to protect ourselves, whether physically or emotionally or psychologically.
And it makes you question, what have you been doing to protect yourself that comes from your ancestors and you're not even aware?
Yes. Yes.
Because I know I'm not even aware, but I know I have been doing that. And I'm becoming more aware, but that's the work.
That's the work. Let's talk about this case that I had last week. And this was the case of this woman who discovered that she was abused by her father when she was a child.
Man, that's tough.
And she never thought of this.
Wow.
She found out this because she was doing this tantric breathing. And all of a sudden, the memory came up. Because you can awaken those memories by doing certain breathing exercises. So she found out and she was like, oh, I'm feeling like I cannot breathe. And then I felt this. And then she saw her father. And then the whole memory came up. And she said, I need to constellate this. Yes. So she came to the constellation. And we set the whole field of her family system, where we got to see that her mother also had been abused as a child by her own cousin. And she never said anything. It was a secret, right? But not only that, she knew about what happened between that baby or that girl and the father. And also, this father did it with another of her siblings.
One of her sisters, okay.
With one of her sisters. So these 3 girls had been abused by people from the same family system. And the mother would see it but didn't want to confront it. She was like, I don't want to see it. And she would turn around in the constellation work. I'm not seeing this. But she kind of knew what was happening. So we have to do this process of two things that can happen in a process of a constellation, a family constellation. And one could be to release the emotion of how you feel when you're so vulnerable and you expect your parents to take care of you and you are being abused. So it could be anger or resentment or
Or rage.
frustration, rage. You feel like yeah, you cannot do much about it because they really couldn't. You couldn't when you were less than 5 years old. So what could you do? You just do what you expect your parents to tell you what life is about, right? And so all of these emotions that are trapped get to be released in a family constellation process or therapy or session. Yes.
And sometimes not pretty because they do release it.
Yes, but it needs to be
It,
released.
it
We
needs
need
to
a
be.
catharsis, or the
Yes,
person needs a catharsis
right.
to let go of this anger.
And that's how deep the work with family constellation is.
Hmm.
You see, because it's like no matter how much you try to hide it, when you bring it to the field will show it. And it gives you the opportunity to really do that release.
Yes, so those two things happen in constellation. One, to release those emotions that were trapped that you couldn't
Mhm.
even recognize within yourself because she had issues with sexuality.
Mm, that makes
She
sense.
she had issues with with connecting sexually with a partner. And also, she got to reconcile the root of it
That's the gift. That's beautiful.
because it didn't start with her.
Mm-mm.
Or, the story started with before it was the mother who had been abused by another member of her own family system. So we got to reconcile that and then we got to reconcile the emotions. So those two things are important to heal in order for this memory to be liberated and not to be trapped energetically, bringing more unconsciousness for the next generations.
And then it stops with you.
Yes,
So now your children and their children are not carrying that with them anymore.
yes. So epigenetics um, is how we inherit these memories and those emotions that haven't been liberated that you could be carrying.
I tell you, I stay with my mouth open with stuff like that when I live. I'm like, what?
Yes. Yes, it's unbelievable. So, some people come and say, I don't know how, but I feel panic.
Yeah,
When I should not feel panic because I have it all in my life. I have a good husband, children, work, money, health. So why do I feel this panic?
yeah. There's sometimes you go to anxiety, you don't understand why you're going through the anxiety.
Anxiety is like, I don't know how, but I don't know how to stand this anxiety or this depression. It's like I have it
Mm-hmm.
all, but I feel like I'm missing something, or I have this emptiness, but I don't know where it comes from. Maybe it's not yours. Maybe it is a memory, an unresolved memory of the unconsciousness of your family system, and you're identifying with this emotion because we, the descendants, when something wasn't resolved in the past, we identify with any of those.
And the thing is, it will keep coming through the epigenetic and it will keep going. So someone grabs it and does the healing for it.
Yes. So we are pretty much saying this. We are restructuring our DNA.
That's a good thing. You
Isn't
know what I
that unbelievable?
Yeah,
Who
that's
would
a good
say that
thing.
we can reprogram our DNA by just healing those memories? I would say that that's very powerful.
So look at all the power you guys have.
Not even science,
Right?
not even science.
Can do
Oh,
that.
hi, Esmeralda. We can see you there. How beautiful. Esmeralda is also one of our graduates.
Well, welcome.
Yes.
Yay, me too, me too.
Esmeralda Emerald. Beautiful
I
Emerald.
love that name.
Yes, I love that name too.
It was one of my favorite novelas too.
Ah,
It's one of my favorite novels. It was in Spanish. That was the name of the actress, Esmeralda.
We love you too, Esmeralda. How beautiful. So, can we did we make ourselves did we understand? Did you understand?
I
So
did.
yeah, me too.
I understood.
I understood too. I wanted to make sure that you guys understand.
And put it in the comments.
Please put it in the
Like and
comments.
say I don't get it. What you mean?
If you don't get it, we still can keep going until you get it.
Oh, you might say, you know what? I get it.
Or you might say, no, 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 that doesn't make any sense. And
Mhm.
we also respect that because I was there.
We
At the
we
beginning, I was like, that's impossible. And actually, I had a teacher. One of my family constellations teachers is a doctor. He works with the gastrointestinal doctor. He used to do surgeries and things like that. And he became a family constellator.
That's something that's
Yes.
wonderful.
And he used to say that he said, well, I thought that I was helping people.
Mhm.
But he said, but I'm not. I was not. Now he is because he got into family constellations. Plus, he has all the scientific studies. And then he got to constellate the person before even doing the surgery.
Isn't that wonderful?
So the person heals the root of why the issue in the gastrointestinal part of the body is because this is speaking, every part of the body is speaking, especially when we talk about the stomach, intestines, digestion. It has to do a lot of has to do with the mother, the connection, the relationship with the mother, something that I cannot digest. What could it be that I couldn't digest that is causing me these problems or issues with my stomach or with my metabolism or with my digestion, right? Or it could be a memory from the past where someone couldn't digest something and got constipated, let's say.
Mhm.
So also something that needs constellation work, right? We need to understand the roots of everything. What happens in the body is just a scream from what is happening within your soul or the collective soul of your family system. Sunshine is saying, oh my God, I do understand. It just feels I have a lot of work to do for my family.
And that's a gift, the
Yes.
fact that you say it and
Yes.
you open yourself open to that and you're allowing that to happen in your life. I say bravo to you. Bravo
Yes,
to you.
Sunshine, we congratulate you. We celebrate you.
Absolutely.
That you are just by saying that, you being aware of the work that we need to do. We all, each of us need to do. The systemic part or the systemic work is a part that not many people even think about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't even put any attention to it. Work on the outside, trying to fix things outside, but never think of fixing those things within, which isn't within. When I'm talking about within, I'm talking about the DNA
Mhm.
at a cellular level. We must change and reprogram that at a cellular level. That's deep. That's work. Yes,
Yes,
because
it is.
it's not only the work to change those emotions that affect your cells and your DNA, but also to change those emotions that are connected to those cells, know those memories. They know it because they have intelligence.
Mhm.
They know what is hidden or what is laying there. Yes? So, oh my gosh, no, please don't call at this time. Please don't call at this time. Let me see. Let me close this. So, yes. And so there is work to do.
There is, yes, there is good work to do. It's good work.
It's good work to do. Once you change your biology,
Yes.
you will be attracting. magnetizing
Such a different experience.
different experiences.
And we are testimony to that because,
Yes,
even though we go through a challenge, because that will be a lifetime thing. And thank God, because we want to keep evolving. The experiences that we are attracting, oh my God, how
definitely.
wonderful.
Definitely be always grateful
Hmm.
for the challenges.
Those are your best friends.
Yes, and the
Who
best
would have
support.
had said I would have said that?
Oh my
Because
God,
some of
Jared,
them are
it's
so
true.
tough.
I remember when I met you, you
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, "What? What?" And you were kind of mad at me.
I was.
How can you say that when I'm going through this?
Yeah, I always say, well, I need to eliminate her. And then,
Scratch off my list.
when you put the picture and you put the scratch.
And then she came to the program, then she came to do this and that, and now she can say,
It's a process.
I'm so embracing the difficulties in my life.
Yeah, it's a process. I mean, right
Yes,
now I'm in a I had to make a difficult choice for me, and I made it. I'm moving forward with it. But that's what this is. That's what it has you look at the stuff that you absolutely do not want to look at.
yes. And it is the one that you really need to look at
Mm-hmm.
because yes, we do enjoy having like fun moments
Mm-hmm.
and happy moments. But yeah, those are the oases of our life. But the work is in looking
Yeah.
at those scenes that create internal shake. They shake you, they move you, they make you uncomfortable, they
Chaos. That's what I like
chaos.
calling them.
Yeah.
Chaos.
They awaken all the fears and the wounds
Mm.
and all of it. Those are the ones we should be grateful for because the more we get to heal them, the more we get to create a peace for all.
Yeah, you get to get grounded. So now when you see yourself in chaos, go ahead and jump up and down and say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, I'm embracing you even though I'm not happy.
Even though I don't like you, I'm embracing you. Thank you for coming into my life. Because you open up you open up yourself to really start changing things at a cell level.
Yes, at a cellular level, definitely. All right. So Sunshine is saying, I notice I feel anger and fear when I hear stories of child abuse,
Mm.
like sexual abuse. I have not been sexual abuse, and I asked my mom. She said no. But how I heal that, I know it happened to others in my family. Then the memory is pulsing
Mm-hmm.
within you because it didn't happen to you, but it's part of your information because it's being carried in your family system. That's how it gets you so much. And it's also my case, Sunshine, because I wasn't abused or sexually abused that I remember. But that memory is also part of my family system. And every time I hear stories of child, abuse, sexual abuse, it just gets me. And then I'm working on it by seeing. I've gone to let's say a different point of view. I decided not to see a child as a child, but as a soul at service. Or maybe it is a karmatic thing. Maybe this child was an adult before, and maybe the abuser was the opposite, and we cannot get to see the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do judge, then we don't help. So I'm trying to help myself understand this better by trusting that what is happening is just serving life in a way that it will be eventually liberated so it won't happen anymore.
I
But
love the way you put that.
mhm,
Serving life in a way that will liberate so it won't continue to happen anymore. I think it's I love the way you said that.
and that's the only thing I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Or it has helped me a lot when I hear these stories that I'm like, but how come? And then I go back to, of course, my judgment of why do a person do this to a child? But of course, it's one of my memories too. So it comes to see the perspective of someone also in my family who thinks the same way. And all of it is involved there. So I'm trying to, or I'm working on reprogramming that so I can, let's say, include, because we need to include what we call the perpetrator, because the perpetrator is also in us. Sometimes we abuse ourselves when we eat in excess, when we do maybe some sort of substances that can, create something in the body, when we do things to the body or to ourselves that we abuse ourselves somehow,
And it's so funny because we don't even think of it that way. But yeah, that is things that we do that we're hurting ourselves unconsciously.
Or we accept abuse
Yes.
by putting up with things that are not supposed to be ours.
And we shouldn't put up with it.
Yes, and so
Pretty
we
much.
accept abuse.
Mm-hmm.
There's abuse. Oh my God, abuse is like a big fan of possibilities that are just like we cannot see it as an abuse, but lots of things are, abuse, and we don't realize it unconsciously. We accept them and we don't see it as an abuse.
I would say, really take that to heart. And think about it a lot, and give us your comments.
Yes.
For next when we do next week's live. Like how has there been abuse in my family, or how have I consciously and unconsciously been doing it to myself?
Yes, yes. And those are ways to liberate it. I have
Mm-hmm.
done it to myself. I have done it to others. Actually, we do this circle. We call it the shamanic circle. We do it once a month, and we did it last weekend. And something happened that was very interesting about that circle. And I'm going to share it here before we begin doing the reading. And it was that I had a topic for that night.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was that night it started to rain, and there is a cat that is not my cat. I have two cats. One of it ran outside, and the other one stayed in. And then this lady who came to the circle, for the meeting, she saw the cat outside, and she thought, "Oh, poor cat! This cat! I need to help the cat."
Mm-hmm.
So she went and grabbed food from here, and she wouldn't come in. We were doing the thing, and she still wouldn't be here. And she spent most of the time outside taking care of the cat. Right? She put the cat in her car, and she wasn't worried about it. And we were talking about how we want to save others when others don't even need help sometimes. Because this cat belongs to the outside. Like, she doesn't like to be indoors. She is the neighbor's cat.
Yeah,
And then
people
I
feel like
asked actually the owner, I said, "Why is the cat outside?" So she doesn't want to be indoors. So she loves out. But I guess she was freaking out. It's like, "Why is this lady putting me in her car?" And
Yeah.
things like that. So we started talking about the role of the perpetrator, the role of the savior, and the role of the victim.
Mm.
She thought the cat was the victim, right?
Mhm.
And then she was being the helper. And so we decided to change the topic that night to work on illuminating those three in us, because none of them is really a good position.
Mm.
If you think better, the best position of that triangle is to be in the middle.
Okay.
Just as an
I love it.
observer, and see,
Yes.
why do I need to save this cat? That cat really, really, really need help. It was
Yeah. Like, why do
fine.
I feel like I have to be involved in that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
And so I ask people when we do the journey, because we use drumming, I said, let's illuminate one of those three parts that you have been going through in your life
Mm.
or in another life. Because we do channeling and we go to the spirit and we do all of these things. So I decided to ask my soul to take me to another lifetime when I was the perpetrator. And it showed me three memories of myself being the perpetrator.
The reason I'm laughing because she would say, because Janet, you've been a perpetrator, and I would look at her with these eyes. I have never, not me. And well, Let's just say I agree.
Let's say that we all have this
We all
perpetrator in
have.
us because we have been through so many experiences in different
Mhm.
lifetimes, different dimensions, different things, throughout history. You have not been always the good one, right? Let's face the reality, right? Let's face
I had to
reality.
face it. You know what I mean?
And so I saw this guy who was a barbarian.
Mm.
I was a barbarian. I was, like this big man. And I was like, oh my God, let's see how it feels to be within this man,
Oh
which
wow.
is me, right? And then I'm feeling this sort of, that's work.
Yeah.
But I was feeling this sort of, disgust by what he was doing because for him, it was just his work, killing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was seeing that part of me that I was integrating. I say, oh, that was me. I did that. And that's integrating something that we tend to judge and to reject in us.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Then I got to see also, Janet, and everybody who's watching. Do you want to see more?
Yes.
Should I tell more? Okay. I got to see this religious guy. It was also a man. I was
Mhm.
bald and skinny. I was bald and skinny, and I was a religious man who was so fundamentalist that I couldn't see more than my perspective.
Wow.
So I was so
Yeah.
rigid,
Wow. There we
so
go.
rigid in my beliefs that everybody needed to follow my beliefs. So probably I was one of those inquisitors, or who knows? I was one day I was the witch who got burned in the stake, and then this time I was being the opposite. So we have been playing all roles, guys, by the way. And then the third one I saw was a greedy guy.
Hmm.
I was so greedy, my precious. I remember the word my precious because I noticed how my body was like this, and I had this sort of like I need to take care of everybody, or the fear and the untrust and all of it. I was like, oh my God, that's me. And I got to integrate that. So I illuminated those lives that I couldn't see more consciously, because back then we wouldn't be able to see consciousness as we do today.
Yeah.
Because Alcyon, the sun,
Mhm.
because the sun is not only our sun, right? This is only the sun of our universe, right? But there are other suns, and then there's one that is now directly aligned to Earth. So when that sun is sending photons to Earth,
Mhm.
then all this energy of the photons gets to open up our consciousness, and we get to understand and be, that's why you're here listening to this, because we are more open to see other perspectives about life and say, oh my gosh, and you never even thought about it, right? And acceptance, it could be possible, or maybe I was there and I did that, and now I want to illuminate this part of me, because we are reprogramming that past, and this is part of it, confronting that, embracing it, to be able to liberate
I'm like deep shit. Love it,
it.
love it, love it. But it's deep, good stuff.
Yes, so that was our circle that last Saturday.
That was a powerful
That
circle.
was a
Wow.
powerful circle. I so loved it.
Look at all the things that you met in yourself and was able to transcend,
Yeah.
evolve, accept, and liberate
And reprogram.
and reprogram.
We cannot reprogram if we don't integrate our darkness.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
definitely.
the hardest thing for us to accept, but it's so true.
Yes. Yes. So watch out not to just think that you are the victim, or you have been the victim, or you have been the helper. No, we also have been the perpetrator. And we are, even sometimes we don't mean to, but it depends on where the other is in their own process. And maybe we say one word that could be painful for that person, and maybe we become the perpetrator and we don't even know it, right? So
Mhm.
that's important to see. All right, so let's go to the
Ready to
book.
the book.
Yes, okay. Let's see what it says. Our ancestors who weren't able to resolve. Oh, by the way, for the ones that are following the book, we are on page number 306.
Wow.
Yes, already.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says our ancestors who weren't able to resolve or reconcile their past was not because they didn't want to, but because they didn't know how to. Yes, remember what I just said? All this light wasn't connected directly to Earth. We wouldn't be able to understand consciousness back then. We were just acting, surviving, doing without really understanding what life is or the purpose of life or who we were and what was the meaning of being here. What are we doing,
Hmm.
right? So back then, they didn't have access to this information or the consciousness to understand what was happening to them. So the system continued dragging the same unconscious information. That is why the descendants of the front line live experiences like those not resolved in the past with the intention of finding that what happens to them is no matter of destiny or bad luck, but part of what they came to solve in their family system and in the system of life. You and I are part of the plan. If we get to see it, we can decipher the puzzle and create a change. If we can't see, the ball of unconsciousness keeps rolling. Yes. With that said, let's talk a bit about our individual past because our work began during our childhood. Our childhood experiences set the tone for what we came to solve. Let's see. So now we're going to talk about how a memory is created and how this memory can be inherited. When we get an experience, be it a trauma, a fright, a fear, or a violent event, the first to receive the impact is our nervous system. So it all goes to a cellular level first. This experience gets ingrained in every cell of our body because the nervous system
Hmm.
goes all the way to the skin. So we feel it, every cell of the body feels it. Therefore, this impact is marked at a cellular level first. Then it goes to the emotional level, causing us to feel tears, anger, sadness, or anxiety. Yes, we have to, this sort of impression, right, that causes something in our heart. And right after, it goes to a mental level, causing us concern, frustration, suffering, or anguish, right? It gives us a perspective.
Hmm.
So it goes, body, emotions, and mind are connected at the same time, creating what is called a memory. And this is how we create perspectives of what we think the reality is. And this is practically how a memory is created. We have memories that impacted us positively, like those of joy and happiness. Yet, the so called negative memories impact our growth and development in different aspects of our life. When the so called negative memories aren't solved, they remain pulsating in us throughout our life. And the worst thing is that if they are not solved before dying, they are inheritable.
If they are not solved before dying, they are inheritable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need water with that.
Yeah, me too. So they remain in our cellular information, and of course, it passes through the genetic information or DNA to the descendants. Those are the news. That is why we attract more of the same as our ancestors. And that is why what wasn't solved take us towards the past. So we cannot change it. We just like magnetize the same sort of stories. When we live a story where we feel threatened, as our ancestors did, our memories of survival are activated and we feel the same fears, frustration, anger, helplessness, anguish, worry, or suffering again. So our cells have, let's say, like a switch, like the light switch. You put it on and off, right?
Mhm.
So if we confront a memory just as they did and is slept in us, but it's like dormant in us, this experience that we are living outside now can awaken the memory. So the switch goes on, and then you're experiencing the same sort of fear, pain, or you don't understand what's happening, panic. Uh, Whatever it is that they felt, you feel it again. And that's how those memories affect you. Even though you didn't go through the actual experience, it's similar. It awakens and causes you the same sort of feelings. Hmm? It is as if we relieve the pain that our ancestors felt in the past, but in our present experiences. Understanding this, we are going to see what memories they could have experienced that still awaken in us, possibly causing us the same suffering. And since this chapter is about childhood, right? How to heal our inner child, because this is the next topic and what we will be talking about next week. We brought this for you to understand that if you as a child got to experience some memories that were traumatic, it means that they weren't solved in the past by your ancestors. So you're repeating in order for one of the descendants to finally say, I don't want to experience this anymore. How can I change it? And then you reprogram by doing maybe a family constellation session.
Mhm.
Yes, that's all you need to do. It's
Yeah,
easy.
it really is.
It really is medicine.
It's medicine, like, and it's the deep good feeling.
That's the soul medicine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so medicine because you
Yes.
feel it.
You feel it. Yes, and we need to change the feeling of it.
Exactly.
Yes, yes, yes. So the events of our childhood marked us, especially from pregnancy until 5 to 7 years old. When we are children, we learn by observation and listening, but more deeply through feeling. The child may not understand words or meanings, but feels when something is not right. In situations that are difficult for us, the survival alarm is activated in us. These moments become memories that create a very deep impression that is felt at a cellular, emotional, and mental level. Then, by living moments in the present that make us remember the past, the memory awakens and you feel it again. You feel again what your body felt, what your heart felt, and what you thought about it as when it happened to you. This is how you base your present on the experiences of the past and believe that it is so. Yes. So there you go. We are kind of stepping now because we needed to understand how we inherited these memories. We are carrying these memories. We magnetize these experiences because they weren't solved in our family system.
Mhm.
And they, of course, cause us pain. And it's like a ball of unconsciousness because if it wasn't solved in the past, maybe your mother went through it. this experience, this painful experience. And it wasn't solved here. So it's like the ball, like the snowball,
Mm-hmm.
is bigger
Keeps
for the next
growing.
one,
It
keeps
keeps
growing
growing
and
and growing.
growing and
Yeah, it's like
growing.
the snowball. Yeah, absolutely. Keeps growing.
Exactly. So uh, the your experience, right, could be even harder because someone needs to say, "This is so painful. Why did I have to go through this?"
Mm-hmm.
And then someone is tired of being part of that snowball and decides to break it
Stop.
or stop it and say, "Wait, wait, let's
Let's look at this.
put some fire on it." And yeah,
Let's break it apart.
just break it apart and see what it shows. And
Yeah.
usually all the trauma is behind it. Hmm.
And I take a deep breath on that because it's so
Yes,
true.
yes. So we invite you, if you haven't lived the experience of a family constellation session. Janet is a family constellator from
I
our
would say,
institute. So Janet, what's your information?
I would say, give yourself that gift. And my
Yes,
information is I'm Janet Luciano, and it's 407-460-5756. I can do it in person and online. Always prefer always in person, but I can do it both, and I can do it both in English and in Spanish.
yes, definitely. And if you wanna
Buy the
begin
book.
understanding what happens to you, Janet, say buy
Buy
the
the
book.
book. Buy the book. It's a book. It's a workbook. It's all in one, and that's just one. Go
Yes,
ahead and tell them about the others, Maya.
the other book that is coming.
The program that you
Oh, okay.
have, the
And you were
fact
talking.
that she forget these things. She's done so many things. She forgets these things. I have to remind her.
Thank you, Janet. That's true. So if you don't like reading, we have this program in Hotmart,
Mhm.
Hotmart.com. That's a platform with for programs, videos, and etc. You can find it as Soul's Journey. And Soul's Journey are a series of videos where I explain content about what happened or how we are connected to our ancestors and the memories that we need to reconcile and what's the order that we need to create in order to transcend that past and to liberate ourselves from it. And then I have systemic exercises that you can practice. So it's Soul's Journey in Hotmart.com.
Okay. Yes.
Also, we have our program, our training program.
And we have a wait. Our waiting list has started on it, so
Yes,
definitely add yourself to the waiting list.
exactly. So if you would like to be, maybe take part of this training program
And go deeper, deeper, deeper.
to do your own work and at the same time to get trained to serve others, as Janet is doing today,
Mm-hmm.
facilitating family constellations. Welcome. And someone is saying, you are a comedy show, you girls are so funny. Well, I'm glad we are entertaining you as we say this.
Then we're doing our job right. 'Cause
Yes, definitely.
life should be about laughter as
Yes,
well.
yes, yes, definitely. Now we are laughing off our pain.
Because this week was
This week wasn't fun at
was
all.
rough. It
That
was.
eclipse really hit me all the way down to the floor, and but I'm glad. I'm glad. What I got to find from this week work that I was doing was indecision.
Yeah.
My work was on indecision. It really drove me crazy. I thought that I didn't know what I was doing. Should I be continue doing this or not? Should I go to Egypt or not? Should I do the Mexican retreat or not? Everything was like indecisions and it drove me crazy. I went nuts.
And it's the universe way of getting us ready for a big step that is going to happen.
Yes. Yes.
Because because when you think about it, she was saying indecisions.
Mhm.
Well, she's going into unfamiliar territory where she's going to have to make a lot of decisions, probably on the spot.
Yes, and that's what I did. You know
Yeah.
how I got rid of the indecisions? Like yesterday, I'm having an issue with the tooth. I was like, what am I gonna do? Should I go to Mexico? Should I go to Colombia? Should I do it here? Should I? And I was in that sort of
Winding circle.
non-going, yeah,
Tornado.
the rat thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I said, that's it, stop it. And I went and purchased a ticket to go to Colombia. I said, I'm gonna just get it fixed on the
Mhm.
22nd. Done. Get out of the way.
Mhm.
Then today I was like, I'm going to Egypt. I don't know if should I do this, should I do that. So this morning I woke up and said, I'm buying the ticket and then I will figure it out later.
Right.
Boom, purchase the
Moving
ticket.
forward.
So that I kind of clear out that of my way, and it's teaching me to create decisions. And then once I take these decisions, everything will align.
She started the momentum.
Yes, it's
You know
like
what I mean? Yeah.
exactly that you set the intention,
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
things will align in order to flow as I want to manifest it. But if I don't take that step, nothing is going to happen. Everybody actually wants to, but is not sure about going because it's my thought, the one creating that.
She's the
So
leader. We're
yes,
gonna follow the
exactly.
leader. So the leader.
Exactly. So I'm manifesting that. And then now that I planted the intention and I took that step, because
Everything will come.
everything will come. So I feel more relieved today.
Yeah. Yeah.
This afternoon actually had to do my biomagnetic work and my crystals and my meditations and even my card reading. I did it all this afternoon. So I say by the time the life comes, I will be better, and I'm feeling better.
And in my case, that I was totally lost. I came. I'm like, Maya, I'm going through this, and she just told me. I'm like, you see, that's what happens. But that's what I needed, so I created it.
Yes. I guess that's who's there in Facebook. She's saying, I can see you going crazy. You seem so cool the entire time I saw you online. Yes, you can see me
That
like
is
this.
us being transparent.
Yes.
We go through it too.
Yeah, we do go through it. But within my mind, of course, we're part of the collective. And it gets you. It
Yeah,
gets me. It gets everybody. I'm not fixed 100%, and I don't think I will be able to fix everything that I have been going through throughout all of these lives, and get, unless I get this enlightenment, some masters must
And
guide,
then again,
must
what's
done.
the
But
fun in that? We want to go through the process.
yes, and I like enjoying my 3D.
Yeah.
I love
This is why
enjoying
we
my
chose to
3D.
come
Yes,
here.
yes, exactly. I so love
Like
that,
I
Janet.
said, we have to have fun with our 3D.
That's Dave. That's Dave. I'm glad you're there, Dave.
Hi,
Yes,
Dave.
the universe will always have your back.
Absolutely. Oh,
Absolutely. Yes.
thank you for saying that. Feels good.
Yes, definitely. All right, guys. So it was so much fun being with you
Thank you for joining
tonight. Yes,
us.
thank you for joining us, for being part of our life, for laughing with us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Enjoying our stories and everything in our lives, because yeah, I like sharing what we go through, so we can understand that no matter how much work we do, we always have the next work waiting for us.
And we're never alone. That's what I want us all. If you take anything, just remember you're never alone in this walk or in this process or in this journey.
Mhm.
We're here to help and assist. And so please hit the like, subscribe, send it to everybody you can think of, because we all need this.
Yes, share,
Everybody,
please.
just share, share, share. And we'll see you back again.
Yes,
Same
next
time
week.
next week.
Yay.
This is our mission now, and we love it.
We love it.
Love it, love it.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, well, sending
Lots of love.
lots of love,
¿Cómo que se
and
hace?
actually like
Ah.
this, and tons of blessings. And we'll see you
Next week,
next week.
same time,
Yes.
same channel.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
Sunshine,
everybody.
Dave. We'll see you there. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And remember, we are beautiful.
Yes, we are.
Just as we
Yes.